We are back again, and I've been doing a little work actually since the last time. Last time we were doing some mining. We just found diamonds. What have you got? I need that. Give me that. Hold up, guys. Pause. Let's take a back seat for a second. So yeah, I've been doing a little bit of grinding, doing kind of the boring stuff, and I admit that I probably did a little too much by myself. But I set up a few villages. I got an iron farm going. What else? Gosh, yeah, I got a melon and pumpkin farm going. I got a cactus farm going. I'm setting up a sheep farm with all the colors so that we can start doing some colorful builds. I've been busy. I set up a wheat farm as well, because who knows, I might need packed mud for something. I just got a mending villager, so we're kind of heading into the mid-game already by... Well, this would technically be episode 2. So that's, I've done quite a bit. And this is where the fun begins. But, I thought I should probably jump on now and kind of stream me finishing up all of these farms before I actually build my starter house. I've only been operating out of those 4 chests this whole time, so it's about time that we improved our setup. So that'll be happening soon. Yeah. I need these dark oak saplings. Need the wood. Yeah, so I put mending on my pickaxe and that's it. So, done a bit of mining, gotten ourselves lots of diamonds, which is good. And we'll be underway. Nice, let's go get these saplings. I don't need anything else from here, right? Nah, we're good. Let's grow these. I've done a little exploring, but I haven't, gone into any major structures or anything. Just went to a desert way. I think it was that way to get some cactus and more sand, because we've kind of exploited all the sand around here. So I might need to start building a nether hub soon, actually, as well. I have plans for that, but that's for another time. So I went off, had dinner, and I did some AFKing, and I probably need to expand this as well, because that is not enough. Maybe another 2 or 3 layers, but it's coming along well. Got lots of iron. Could probably get a beacon sometime soon. We got mending. Got lots of wool, which is nice. I'll probably finish sorting this out actually. Nice. So yeah, set up those ones, and then I've got these ones over here. So a few more sheep to set up. And we have all the colors. Got a sugarcane farm. Yeah, I suppose I could explain the mechanics behind everything. Seeing as it's... No, I didn't do any of this on Camry. So basically, we'll start with the wheat farm. We have one villager here in the max amount of plowed land. He's got a composter, so he is a farmer, and as you can see, we've got light, which helps the crops grow. So when I put a roof over this, they'll still keep growing. But basically these trapdoors around the composter stop the villager from composting, so he can't empty his inventory. And that means that once his inventory is filled with wheat and seeds, he can't pick anything up. And so underneath we have a hopper minecart just running along the entire thing, picking it up. So when his inventory is full, the items will be lying on the ground, and then this picks it up. And over here we've got a simple hopper unloader, a minecart hopper unloader. So when the hopper minecart comes over onto this track, it'll start unloading into the hopper, and the comparator will pick that up, basically sending a signal into this block, into this redstone torch, which will turn off because it's powered, which means that this redstone rail, powered rail, won't be turned on. So it'll stay turned off and stop the hopper minecart from going on its loop again until this hopper is completely empty, in which case the power will be turned back on and the rail will turn back on, and it'll send it on its way. So that's getting unloaded into that hopper there, which runs into this hopper, which behind it we have a simple sorting system. This is an impulse SV sorting, an item sorter, where again, similar principle, hoppers are running along, and then this signal locks the hopper to a certain level, and basically if there are more items, I'll show you with an item. If there are more items in this hopper, the signal strength increases, unlocking the hopper, basically. So, see, it empties out, but then once it gets to the right signal strength, it locks again. With this, as you can see. If that wasn't there, it wouldn't work. And I think I might have broken it. Yeah, so it started emptying. So this has its own unique problems, but it works because this is a small enough farm that it's not ever going to get overflowed with anything. And I have a similar, again, the same sorting system, but in this one for seeds. So when seeds come through in this hopper line, it'll be pulled out and put into the composter. I get some bone meal, some passive bone meal, which is nice. And then yeah, if for some reason anything else ends up in this system, it'll just come into this junk chest. So that's a really simple automatic wheat farm, and it works for all crops. Like if you have potatoes or carrots or beetroot, if for some reason, you can use that and it'll work. And you can also tile it up as well. So you just put another one of these on top and have a hopper minecart with the same unloading system, and then just direct it down into the hoppers, which is pretty cool. So we might do that today, and we could also grow the cactus farm, which is the next farm. So this farm uses a feature where cactus can't grow next to a block. So hold on, let me grab a piece of cactus or two. I'll show you. So I can't place, you can't see it, but I'm trying to click. I can't place cactus on there because this block is next to it. But that won't stop the cactus growing. So the cactus will grow, and because there's a block next to it, it will break automatically, and it will come into this chest here with the water stream pointed to the hoppers, which come down and through this chest. And I'll see if I can, yeah, let me grab a bit of sand here. So, got cactus, it'll grow, but then you put a block next to it and it breaks. And so that's the same with fences. It's just fences take up less space in a block, so the cactus has a chance, there you go, you saw it over there, to fall into the water from all 4 sides instead of 3 sides like the scenario here. And again, this is a scalable farm, which, I don't know, I might do, I might not. Smelting cactus is good for XP, if we ever need that for some reason. But yeah, I might also put another 3 levels or something, and then just have that smelting all the time, so if I need levels immediately, I can just break a furnace. And then with this farm, pretty standard sugarcane farm. I needed paper for a villager trade over there, just to get me some emeralds to get going. And so we've got observers looking, so when the sugarcane grows up to this block, the pistons below it will be powered, because the observer sends a signal into this redstone that powers this block, which then powers this piston, and it'll break. And I tried to do something and it kind of works. Gotta sleep. Anyway, I tried to combine 2 farms. So you see we've got a sugarcane farm and a sheep farm. Sorry, I had a mind fart. But so let me just explain the sugarcane first. Yeah, you got the redstone thing, but then, well, I guess I've already explained it. The iron bars here are to stop sugarcane when it's destroyed from being pushed onto the wrong side. So sometimes you'd get sugarcane like that sitting there, because from this side it gets pushed all the way and not into the water stream. So the iron bars kind of stop that. But you still can't really help like pistons extending too fast and then pulling the block towards them. You kind of live with that, but you know, this is also scalable. But I don't think we'll need much sugarcane in a single player world. Like maybe for rockets in the future, but if I just leave this going all the time, it'll eventually get to a point where I just don't need it anymore. But then I tried to connect the sheep farm, the wool farm, which again has a minecart unloader like we saw in this farm, which goes into the wool, shorts the wool. I tried to attach this to the sugarcane farm, but it came with its own set of issues, where if I tried to, it wasn't powering the dispenser basically, because there's some weird way that redstone connects with observers and stuff. And you know, I'm not sure whether I really fixed that or not, but basically I had to put a block in between every dispenser, observer, and the one to the right of it, like you see here, because this redstone dust connects to another piece of redstone dust over here and not power the dispenser. So I don't know if it works, but the observer in front of it is powering this block, and maybe it powers the block underneath it with quasi connectivity. I don't really know anything about it. I know it exists, and it seems to be working. Like no sugarcane is growing above 3 blocks, or you know, nothing's at the observer line ever, which is nice. So it seems to work, and maybe by accident, but anyway, so every time, we also have an observer down here looking at the grass, so every time a sheep eats grass, triggers the observer, powers the block, which powers the redstone on top of it, which fires the dispenser with some shears in it, clips the sheep, gets its wool, and then again, hop a minecart like over here, picks up the wool sitting below it. You just saw it happen over here. It will start unloading, well, it's already unloaded, into that chest. But also, whenever this observer is triggered, it powers the piston next to it, like that. keeping grass short. Actually, it's quite nice. Not the grass, the sugarcane. But also, simultaneously, if sugarcane grows up to this point, it powers the redstone dust, which also fires the dispenser with the shares in it. So if for some reason sheep hadn't been shared, you know, there's a second option for them getting shared. And I still have to set up the other side. Currently, it's got no shares in there, and it's got no collection system. And there's still a few more colors that we need to put in place. Yeah, and then Iron Farm. Ooh, this one. I wanted to combine a villager breeder and an iron farm, which is kind of working. So, first of all, the mechanics for villager breeding is there needs to be at least 2 villagers to breed, and 3 beds so that there is space for a baby villager to be born. And then you supply them with food. That could be 3 loaves of bread each villager for the villagers breeding, or it could be like, I think it's 12 carrots or something. Maybe it's 1.5 stacks of carrots each. I don't know. I just use bread from the trades, and maybe potentially the wheat farm down there once it gets up and running. But yeah, I kept them in a confined space. There's 4 beds, 3 villages, so it should increase the chances of a villager being born. And they're basically sitting on top of a fence post. So baby villagers, entity box. I'll see if I can show you. Every creature and even blocks have a entity space that they occupy, and baby villages are small enough to slip through the fence post, and they fall down into the water, which is a collection system. And you know, I could put like a minecart dispenser here, but I'm lazy and I haven't done that. So yeah, baby villagers fall down, but also there is an option here. Let me see if I can show you, to turn this into a iron farm. So when villagers see a mob, be that a zombie or a drowned or a pillager, you know, kind of the undead mobs, they freak out and they try and summon a iron golem to protect them. And so to have a zombie here permanently, I've put him in a cauldron, because you can see his hitbox. That's what it's called, hitboxes. His hitbox is small enough to fit inside the cauldron with water, so he won't burn in daytime, even with the slab and the trapdoor above him, just in case, you know, another safety feature. But there is also, you can see he's holding a dirt block, and he's also got leather boots on. And that, when an entity or a mob is holding a block or a piece of armor, it stops them from despawning. They can still burn to death, but that's what the water is for. But, so basically, this guy will never despawn, unless for some reason he escapes and probably dies. The trapdoor and slab above him are to keep him there, so he can't jump out and go walkabouts, which is good. Then I also have this here, a daylight sensor connected to a piston, which puts a slab in front of the villagers, blocking the villagers' line of sight and the zombies' line of sight to the villagers. So when this is activated, the villagers aren't freaking out, which gives them a chance to breed. And to sleep as well. Villagers need to be able to sleep, or else they have the insomnia effect and they can't summon iron golems. So, yeah. And then there's a spawning platform above, just here, with water on it. So this is the nearest spot that an iron golem can spawn to the mob. You can probably tell I've had problems with it because I built it so low to the ground that all of these structures, iron golems would be spawning on them. So to stop that, I just put slabs on there because mobs can't spawn on half blocks or fences or glass blocks, which is really nice. So yeah, I kind of eliminated all of the places where a golem could spawn except for this platform. And they get pushed into a bit of lava in the corner and burned to death. It's a very humane practice, I must admit. And then I spent like 30 minutes working on the collection system because at the time I didn't have a lot of iron. So, I didn't want to have a massive hopper chain coming down. So you can see there's some water streams over here, and they all point to kind of these two powdered snow blocks, and they've got a cobweb above it, and that's basically just to align the items, the iron and the poppies, into a one block space where you can see they drop precisely on top of these two hoppers, which go straight into the chest. And I don't know, I like having it nice and organized like this, so it looks nice every time you open the chest. Got a shriek. What else? Could explain the villages. So I started with them on this side. I started with this guy thinking, let's just go straight and try get mending, and then I remembered that, I need emeralds. So I used the sugarcane farm to make paper and get a few emeralds, but it was never going to be enough to get mending. Mending cost about 18 diamonds, I think, from this guy over here. Yeah, 18 diamonds. And, I haven't set up a zombification chamber where I can cure them because I haven't gone to the nether yet. In order to get blaze rods and stuff, so maybe we'll do that as well. But so yeah, I kind of reassessed my goals, and at the time I was hand farming like all the carrots and potatoes and wheat and all of that. But I also found some melon and pumpkin seeds, and got building a farm for those. So these, pretty simple. Again, same collection system as the wheat and as the wool. You got a hopper minecart going underneath. I used redstone blocks, but that's overkill. And at the time I only had a little bit of redstone, so I really had to make sure that it stretched, that there was enough power to get around the thing. Yeah, and it goes underneath the farm, picking up the blocks. But the way that I've laid it out is we have kind of every second or every alternating block you've got a stalk. And the way that pumpkins and melons grow is they grow adjacent to the stalk. So you got pistons above the blocks where pumpkins and melons would spawn or would be grown into. And then above that you also have observers watching the stalk. So every time a melon or pumpkin is grown, the stalk kind of bends over, connecting to that melon or pumpkin. And the observer picks that up and basically shoots off a signal above it. And, I mean, you could use, I think it's quasi-connectivity. I could be wrong, because I put all of them in and I didn't place any redstone, and it was powering the pistons above it. So you could just leave it like that, but don't quote me on that, it could be wrong. But instead you put redstone dust above it, and it sends the signal across all the pistons, getting them all to fire at the same time. So, as you've been seeing, they've just been shooting off all the pistons, and it breaks the melons and the pumpkins. The melons turn into watermelon wedges, which you have to craft, which is a bit annoying, but as soon as the redstone, the new update comes in June, and for me it's, 7 days in a week, I'll put an auto crafter in here, which crafts it up into melons, which will be really cool. So I don't have to do this part every time I go try and collect emeralds. So this, as you might have seen, is a really good trade with the farmers, because almost every farmer has either a melon or a pumpkin, like this dude. This guy has both, which is really nice. Same with this dude. And of course I could cure these villagers, turn them into zombies and cure them, and the trade would go down to 1 melon for 1 emerald. An incredible bargain. But I haven't set that up yet. And so that's the melon farm. Is there anything else? No, that's about it. Oh, I did some enchanting just to get Fortune 3 and Efficiency 4, but again, the mending came from this villager here. And I've only enchanted this pickaxe so that I could get some diamonds, which you can see in here from my latest mining stint. We got quite a lot of diamonds, but I really wanted the redstone. I'm going to be setting up a lot of farms because we are going to be building some crazy stuff, entire cities, and that needs farms. I need sand and gravel dupers, which some people might not like, but for the scale of builds that I'm doing, it's just impractical to not have that in this world. But if you're gonna build a sand duper or a gravel duper or a concrete powder duper, always check with the people you're playing with if that's alright. Some people have different preferences on how you play the game, like TNT duping. I use it, but some people are against it. So yeah, always check with your friends if that's alright. Yeah. So that's about it for today. Just keeping you guys updated on the farms and the work that we've been doing. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the series. And thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next episode.